I just want to start out by saying welcome back to the Super League. It's been too long for this competition to lay dormant, and I'm really excited to see what Goofy Jord can do with this competition going forward. Goofy Jord, or Jack, has asked me to take a look at the participants' tactics that they probably will be running this weekend and this week as part of the Super League. I'm going to go through four of the different managers. That's not a four. This is a four of the managers. Mozza, FM Girl, Viking Dan, and JDFM. You can see all of their links in the description, as well as a link to my channel and my socials in the description for this video. I would really appreciate a follow on all platforms. My streams tends to specialize in tactics development, tactics breakdowns, and would love to have you be a part of that. And I think that's just a small part of why Jack has asked me to sort of review some of these squads and kind of predict what sort of shape we can expect from the participants this weekend. Let's just jump right into it. All right, we're going to start with Mazza. Mazza has drafted a team with wide players, which as we go through the list of teams today, you'll see that there aren't very many of those. In Mazza's team, I think he should play a 4-3-3. The argument for that for me is I think he's got to get Brozovic and Fabian on the field together without sacrificing Bernardo Silva's offense. This shape seems to lend itself really well to a more conservative yet still positive attacking mentality that maybe Mazza might prefer, that gets Fabian, who's tall and can knock down headers in the midfield, in that anchorman role. It takes use of Cancelo's speed and off-the-ball movement as an attacking fullback, Sancho as an inside forward, Mahrez as an inverted winger, playing some of their most natural positions, and then who doesn't want to watch Lewandowski play as a poacher? I would love to see Mazza adapt and adopt some kind of 4-3-3 system, but I don't think he will. What I do think Mazza will do based on the lineup he's drafted is I think Mazza will play a 4-4-2 or some variant thereof. Maybe he'll push up those wide players as like out-and-out wingers. Maybe he'll drop the midfield two deeper as some kind of like volante or roaming playmaker or whatever. I think some variant on a 4-4-2 vibes well with how Mazza likes to draft. So this wouldn't surprise me at all. I'd love to see the 4-4-3. I think it's the best choice for a competition like this, and I think it's very strong against narrow tactics that I think we're going to see a lot of. But my expectation is that he'll be using some kind of 4-4-2 just like this. Zlatan Ibrahimovic comes in as a target man, and Fabian is the player that sort of misses out. You could see Fabian as part of the midfield two with Silva instead of Brozovic, but my guess is he wants the dynamism of Brozovic in his team. Next, after we look at Mazza's squad, before we move on to Mazza's squad, I do want to talk about some of the notable players. Lewandowski can be just lethal in drafts. If you get him firing, easy qualification to the next round. Bernardo Silva almost always tops the key passes chart. He takes set pieces, and he just is incredible at finding the perfect through ball to any of the attackers that Mazza has at his disposal. Also, I do want to call special attention to Ronald Araujo. The Uruguayan defender from Barcelona is incredible. I think people sleep on Araujo a lot as somewhere in the very top of the second tier of defenders, and maybe even kind of in a tier 1.5, right behind the like draft picks you always think about, like Varane, Van Dijk, Laporte. Araujo is in that kind of class and someone that people should be looking towards as well. Also, Alisson in goal, a little bit eccentric for my tastes, but I do know there are people in the draft community that really like eccentric goalkeepers. Their ability to aggressively distribute the ball and play high to cover for defenders that are pushing forward. Alisson can be both an asset and a liability, and we'll see what he is for Mazza in the competition this week. Let's take a look at what FM Girl is bringing. This one was easy. No wide players, and I've been in FM Girl's streams. They're fantastic, by the way. But always she will play a 5 at the back, 2-1-2 formation. There's zero doubt in my mind that this is what she will play. Shape-wise, This is not what she will play role-wise. She will play a libero. She will play wingbacks that stay wide. I just disagree that that's the right approach to a five-back sort of setup. I'd like to see her show a little bit more flexibility in how she puts forward. She likes a trequartista. That's fine. I could see either Depay or Mbappe playing trequartista in this tactic, and that's fine. The midfield, too, I think, needs to make sure it has late runners, but also some defensive steel. So I think that having Bruno as the late runner and Pogba as a little bit more defensive makes a ton of sense. Inverted wingbacks to keep things narrow and packed tightly, I think, are a very good call in the draft meta. But I don't know if those are things that Alice will do with her tactic. This is her plan A, B, and C. I don't expect any deviation. That's a very big strength of FM Girl, but also the biggest question mark. Will Alice make the adjustments necessary to see out a close game, or will she just stick to what she knows and continue to jam the same tactic? Improvements in this area, I think, are what take FM Girl to the next level, and I think that she has what it takes to kick on and continue to be a force in draft competitions. But let's take a look at some of her key players. For her, again, another eccentric keeper. Manuel Neuer, excellent distribution, great with the ball at his feet, will be covering defensively for the libero that FM Girl is highly likely to play. As that libero pushes up, Neuer plays more and more towards the edge of the box and can kind of sweep up those balls over the top that a libero can't get to. Probably more of an asset than a liability, but there's obviously a chance of Neuer not getting to a ball first and getting burned by playing so high and so eccentrically. Joel Matip is on the team. An excellent wide center back, good with the ball at his feet. He's got dribbling and a lot of attributes that you can really enjoy, but in my experience has been surprisingly mistake prone. So someone that I'm a little bit worried about and would like to see maybe a quick trigger. She does have Bonucci on the bench, someone else that maybe could come in. She also has Delict, who I've not included in my starting 11 because I'm just not a huge fan. I like what Stones gives better, but that is probably in the major minority here. I don't think most people would agree with that call. Milenkovic in the middle for me is not a libero, obviously. So if she's playing a libero, maybe Stones plays in the middle with Delict on the left, or Delict plays in the middle and Milenkovic is sacrificed because Milenkovic is the worst at the four with the ball at his feet. But he's also the best in the air. So there's going to be some give or take and figure out how best to construct the back line. Also, I adore Memphis Depay. Memphis Depay has been incredible for me whenever I've used them. I've watched Memphis Depay be amazing in other people's teams. I think Memphis Depay needs to be unleashed in this tactic, either as a Trek or as an AM or as a shadow striker behind Mbappe and Benzema. Whether or not Alice sees that value and uses Depay is still to be seen. My guess is she might play Bruno in that attacking midfielder role and then fill out the midfield with Pogba and other bodies, and Depay is on the bench. I think that's a mistake. I think you need Depay's dynamic ball skills and just like the ability to operate between the strikers with pace and like finishing and long shots and cross, like just Depay is the total package, something I'd really like to see really on display at part of this tactic, but I doubt we will. But I think he's one of the key players because of that. And finally, Bruno Fernandes. Bruno's also someone that I've had a ton of success with, both against the AI and in draft mode. Delivery from set pieces is sublime. If Milenkovic is in that starting 11 and Bruno is taking the set pieces, you can expect goals. And I think that's something that you cannot sleep on, cannot underrate, and just like excellent at making late runs. Like Bruno is just incredible making those late box-to-box runs in the box, and I expect goals and assists from Bruno. Another person like Bernardo Silva that is excellent at key passes, both from open play and on set pieces. All right, that's FM Girl. Let's talk about Viking Dan. Viking Dan is also very good at playing these like narrow packed systems. I also anticipate Viking Dan playing some sort of 4-3-3. Some sort of 5-2-1-2. Dan won't play this exact system, is my guess. This is one of my five at the back tactics, but I think it gets to the point of what I expect Dan to line up with. He's got Lucas Hernandez, Koundé, and Soulé in defense. He's got Trippier and Tierney at the wings. He's got Luis Alberto, Thomas Müller, Cristiano Ronaldo as a target forward, and Lukaku as the advance forward. Cristiano Ronaldo, despite the winter update downgrade, is still an excellent target forward. Whether or not you can use Ronaldo in other capacities kind of remains to be seen, but he still has the goods to perform as a target forward. And I expect to see Ronaldo deployed in that kind of role in Dan's tactic. Lukaku also took a small winter update downgrade, and so it'll be very interesting to see if if Lukaku performs the way we've expected Lukaku to perform. And those are definitely two of Dan's key players. Now, Dan doesn't have a lot of depth at wingback that I'm super impressed by, so I do think that he might have a little bit of trouble filling in for Trippier and Tierney and things like that if it were to happen. Jack O'Connell too, Joe Gomez on the bench. I'm not a huge fan of Koundé, who is maybe one of the notable players that I see in this 11. Koundé is short, while the mentals and speed and things are good. Those are replaceable by other players that are taller, so I don't love the Koundé pick. When people do like Koundé, I'm not one of those people, but with Gomez and Jack O'Connell being the backups, I think we'll likely see Koundé in the 11, and we'll see that might come back to haunt him, especially because Lucas Hernandez isn't the tallest center back as well on set pieces, which means defensively, Dan's going to have to deploy Lukaku and Ronaldo in defense. The next key player that I want to talk about for Dan is Koke. I would be surprised if Koke even starts for Dan. My guess is Dan will start Jordan Henderson in the midfield, but I think Koke is the right call. Koke's combination of power, mentals, and technicals is almost unrivaled. He's very difficult to play against because you can put Koke in just about any role, as a ball-winning midfielder or as a CM attack or anything in between. Koke has the ability to shine and excel. Jordan Henderson, far more one-dimensional. If you want those quality, like driving late runs into the box or really carrying the ball forward and even moving into wide areas like Mazza might, Koke is your guy, not Jordan Henderson. Luis Alberto has to be on the pitch for those set-piece deliveries to hit Lukaku and Ronaldo and Nicolas Soulé on these set pieces. And so I think you're going to see Luis Alberto in that midfield, and I think that's the right call. But next to Alberto, I would love to see Koke have a commanding role in this tactic. I just don't know that that's what Dan will do. The next key player is Thomas Müller. Thomas Müller as a Trequartista, as an AP, as a Shadow Striker, as an AM, is someone that I have a lot of time for. And that's a new thing for me. I didn't used to love Thomas Müller in the database, but in an unlimited draft pool and a tactic that's not relying on Müller to be the primary goal scorer, can show up as a facilitator or can show up on those late runs. Thomas Müller is incredible. Those mentals are unrivaled and something that I expect also to shine through in exactly this kind of system. And I think I'm going to try Müller in a system like this too in the near future, because I do think it's an excellent call. Last but not least, we have JDFM. JDFM is yet a third drafter that has kind of eschewed taking wide players. I highly expect a narrow tactic from JDFM. I have built this as a 4-1-2-1-2. I wouldn't be surprised if the left back and the right back play as wing backs. That's something that I think I've seen from JDFM in other competitions. I think they're a little bit better as fullbacks personally. I think you sacrifice a little bit too much defensively for very little gain offensively. If you play like a 2-3-2-1-2, I think that's just... it just doesn't do it for me. But this narrow tactic has shown to be really effective in lots of draft competitions, especially post-winter update. The narrow tactics seem to be almost dominating the metagame. The two things that I really want to call to your attention in this tactic is first, Harry Kane as the AMC. Whether or not JDFM does it remains to be seen. But I think this is the perfect tactic for Kane to sort of watch the chaos swirl around, find the perfect ball, win distribution balls from the goalie or from the defense into the air, knock those down for Salah, knock them down for De Bruyne, making a Mazza run alongside Kane. That there's a lot of possibility here for Harry Kane and Paul Onuachu to really win those balls from distribution and then find outlets via De Bruyne or Mohamed Salah in order to get scoring opportunities. It's something that I think this narrow tactic is very good at. So Harry Kane, definitely a key player to watch. The second key player for me here is Kevin De Bruyne. Kevin De Bruyne is just like Bruno, just like Bernardo Silva, incredible at generating those key passes from open play and from set pieces. With Paul Onuachu on your team, with Sergio Ramos and Seb Coates on your team, then you need someone putting that ball on their head at the near post, at the back post. It doesn't matter where. De Bruyne can put it there, and those players can finish. So it's another team set up well to both defend and capitalize on set pieces. I do like Goretzka in the air a little bit. Kane's good in the air. Onuachu's good in the air, in addition to the two defenders. So I think there are 5 targets, which to me is the magic number, especially given how small Conte is, making sure that there are still 5 players on the pitch that can win a header on set pieces, should suit JDFM really well in this competition. You'll notice one player playing out of position in the tactic, and even over there on the selection info screen, the player has 1 star as a right back, and that player is Federico Valverde. I think Valverde is a perfect right back. The attributes are incredible for a attacking support or defensive fullback. The pace is there, the power is there, the mentals are there, the technicals are there. He's incredible. In a AI save or in a long-term save, he can be retrained there extremely quickly and be one of the best in the world at fullback immediately. I think that it would be a masterstroke for JDFM to be playing Valverde as a right wing back or as a right back, better yet. Will that happen? I don't know. The only other recognized right back on the team is Longley. So whether or not Longley or Pavard, one of those two, is the other recognized right back on the roster. I think we're going to see Valverde there. I think I'm calling this correctly. I expect to see it. Chiesa can play right wing back, so if he is looking to play the 2-3-2-1-2, which I've seen from JDFM in the past, maybe we'll see Chiesa as a right wing back. But for me, Federico Valverde is the cream of the crop on this team, and I expect to see more of it. Last discussion point for JDFM is the defensive duo of Sergio Ramos and Seb Coates. They are both a little bit slow, although Ramos's quickness is okay, but Coates is slow. So they're both a little vulnerable on the turn. What that means is Ramos tends to give away penalties and cards as Ramos is beaten on the turn. Coates tends to just get beaten. That 10 acceleration against a lot of players in an unlimited draft pool is nowhere near enough. If Coates misses a header or pushes up into the midfield a little too high and creates space in behind, there is no chance of a recovery run. So sitting deep will be the strategy, I think, for someone like Seb Coates, making sure they play on cover, making sure maybe they're even a no-nonsense center back and they hold their position and step up as little as possible. Maybe even making sure that your DM is shaded to be in front of Coates so that there's less room for Coates to roam forward. All of these things are ways to kind of limit Coates' movement. If that happens, then I think he's in good shape, because both of these defenders can offer a lot. They can offer a ton on set pieces. And that's worth it. Scoring goals, stopping goals from set pieces is a skill that is very hard to acquire in these drafts, because everybody is gearing up to capitalize on set pieces. So I'm not going to downplay their impact in that level of the game, but they do have their risks as well. And so which version of Ramos and Coates will JDFM get? Will there be the set piece goals, and will there be enough to overcome a possible penalty or suspensions that either Ramos or Coates might accumulate? of all the teams, I think that we can all agree that any one of these four could advance. When it's an unlimited budget, there are tons of possibilities for like upsets. Everybody's team is good. Who drafted the best for their system matters, and we'll find all of that out about how well these four do when the competition comes. All of the links to these competitors, all of my links, and links to where you can watch the Super League will all be in the description below. So make sure you check that out. Give everyone a follow, a subscription on YouTube, and just make sure you're hitting all of the relevant buttons that you need to hit to make sure everyone's followed. That's it from me. I'm going to be watching this competition with a lot of interest, of a lot of friends with a lot of these streamers, and really hoping to see just like a fun, exciting competition with lots of drama, and hopefully the Super League delivers. But that's it for me, Stick Piano. If you would like to see more of my content, once again, follow my Twitch channel. Links in the description. Give me a follow on Twitter as well, and you can get notified when I go live. And enjoy the show.